Hi there. In this topic, I will talk about how to create cash budget on payments in Oracle Fusion. Cash budget means Oracle Cloud Payables payment. Payment means bank account. It means cash account assigned to the bank account. If you go to setup in budget, which we will see it later, you will see there is one tab as a cash control. So let's start to talk about some idea or overview of the cash control. Then we can start to set up. After that, we will try to make some payment as a practice to check the result. So let's start. First of all, cash control is control budget default one of these processing type depending on its purpose. First of thing is procure to pay control. It's budget track and validate spending of expense against the budget. The other one, which is we will talk about it in this video, cash control budget. It's track and validate payments against the cash budget. Budgetary control validation for payables payments. Payments created from a payment process request, quick payment, pay in full are budgetary controlled in the payables subledgers. If you're talking or if you're asking about the business case, for example, some of organization needs to put a control the payment from the bank account. That for this bank account, the limit maximum, for example, 1 million per year, for this other bank account 2 million, and so on. So how to put control through cash control of budget? Either advisory, track, none, like procure to pay control budget. But instead of to path or put expense account, you will put a cash account. This cash account assigned to bank account because we're talking about the payment. So from where you will make a payment? From bank account, right? So in this case, you will make a cash control on those bank account or cash accounts. So the payment created from a lot of things: manual, quick, pay in full, payment process request. Because later we will know that there are some not supported payment type through cash control. Some payment features are not supported for cash control in payable subledgers, that the fund for this payment will be consumed from cash budget when the journals of these payments are reserved in GL. Here is a list of unsupported payment: manual payment, refund payment. So only the payment which is PPR, quick payment, pay in full, only supported for the cash control budget. If we're talking about the payments that the invoice distribution combination and the bank account cash account are used to determine the budget account. The invoice distribution combination is used for all segments except the natural account, which is replaced by the cash account on the bank account that the payment is made from. Consideration of cash budgeting. When you enable cash budgeting, payment processing happens only when there is sufficient balance in the funds account. This is a normal logic for any budget. Once you enable the budget and you put your controls type, supplemental rule, blah blah blah, exceptions, journal source, and so on, it will be starting or enabled for budgeting to the system. Will for every transaction which is related to this account, system will check the fund, either give you advisory, warning, insufficient fund, or pathed. The difference between expense budgeting and cash control budget. Expense budgeting, where the fund reservation enforces the budget limits. It ensures that the expenditure or liability incurred on the invoice is within approval limit. In contrast, the cash budgeting ensures that the cash account has sufficient fund before clearing the supplier payment, because cash is related to the payment. So the system will ensure that the sufficient funds is there before clearing the payment to the supplier. When you subject a payment to cash budgeting, the following attributes impact. There are three attributes. First of things, the budget date. The budget date in cash control case for the payment, it is the same as payment date. So budget date is payment date. If you remember the budget for expenses or for procure to pay, there are a field in the invoice form is budget date. There is invoice date, accounting date, and the budget date. But for payment, there is no field for budget date. The budget date in this case will be payment date. The other or the second attribute here is budget amount. Budget amount is the amount reserved for the payment. Prorating the amount paid for the invoice in the ratio of distribution amount and the total invoice amount gives the amount for each distribution. It's like a payment amount. Third attribute is budget account against which the reservation is done. This is account used for reserving the budget amount. The distributions of the invoice that's getting paid determines the account combination for reserving the funds. To derive the budget account, overlay the distribution natural account with the natural account segment value from what the cash account, which is related or assigned to the bank account. This cash account is configured specifically for the bank used for the payment. We will not talk about handling this, we will talk about it later. So now let's start to go to system and start to enable it. As you know that you have to go to setup and maintenance, search by budget. As you know, for setup of the budget there are two steps: manage budgetary control and manage control budget. For manage budgetary control, as you know, you have to put edit the features, summary account, synchronize, CQ, and check which business unit and ledgers you are going to enable or configured the budget. For example, if I select my specific one for this one, you will find that we enabled already budgetary control, compass account. This controlled by either ledger only, project only, ledger and project, or project. Then the mapping, if you have any different in between the chart of account of your ledger and the budget accounts, and the business unit and business functions enabled, blah blah blah. In this area we will talk about this one. This one, once you enable, the system will ask you to enable cash control. Before of that, you can just cancel. Okay, I will go to cash control. So I enable cash control. When you enable cash control for a ledger, a cash control budget is created for a ledger with some defaults. That the budget calendar is created automatically for only one period for entire date range of ledger. For example, it by default, the system will create one period. There is no periods like monthly procure to pay budgeting. The other one, the control level defaults to absolute. project default to any or no project on the transactions. Budget segment default to the balancing segment. Cash control budget is created with the not ready for use status. You can also modify to meet your enterprise budgeting requirements, such as add natural account, sign tree, create supplemental. Supplemental rule can create it for budget import, unlike procure to pay control budget. If control level is none for budget entry business function, budget balances aren't updated. So I will click on yes. Here the system automatically create a new budget like this one. This is like our budget or our ledger, and make it underscore cash. Later you have to go to assign through data access it to your user to this budget, because you will assign it to after that you need to check the, for example, budget balances, you need to open or close periods, you need to make updates, so you have to get access to this budget later. As we know, that as we said before, that the status as a default not ready for use for like the procure to pay budgeting. This is the first status. Here the system asks you that are you going to make a cash control for receivable receipts funds that during make a creation or during the creation of the receipts in AR, are you make also to make a cash control? It's up to your requirement, because as we said before, it depends on the organization requirements. Some of organization needs to make, for example, a track budget for the receivable receipts. It's like a track reporting purposes or not. But in our case, we will enable, which is enabled by default, payables payment consume the cash budget. This is for each payment, the system will check the fund, either passed, warning, insufficient fund failed, and so on. Also for enable control, cash control to funds or from the standard and miscellaneous receipts, and to allow payment of invoices only when funds are available in the cash control budget. When you enable cash control for ledger, a cash control budget is automatically created, and also you can modify it. Cash budget funding with receivables receipts only applies to ledgers with business units enabled for multi-fund accounting. So in case of you need to enable this option or this feature, so you have to take care that it's working with only or applies to ledger with business units enabled for multi-fund account. If you are not budget controlling expenses, that is not creating procure to pay control budget, but you want to enable cash control for payable payments, then you must also enable budgetary control for your ledger and the payables invoicing business functions for your business units for in the edit budgetary control and the encumbrance accounting page. Again, maybe you don't configured procure to pay budgeting, but you need to configure the cash control. In this case, the system is allowed you to do that, but in this case you have to enable budgetary control for your ledger and payables invoicing business functions for your business units. After that, you will find that accounts in journal subject to cash control. This region determines which account from journal entries will impact the cash control budget. For example, you will enter your bank account's cash account journals for transaction not reserved in the subledger that posted to cash accounts, such as manual journals or journals from other sources, will be budgetary controlled against cash control budget in GL. Debits to the cash account are considered negative expenditure. Increase the cash control budget funds available balance. Opposite is true for credits to the cash accounts, and the fund balance is decreased as an expenditure. Procure to pay control budget aren't applicable to journal entry lines with these cash accounts. Instead, they are only applicable to a cash control budget. Reserve transaction will not be reproduced when enabling or disabling account in this region. So I will add some of our bank accounts. So let me check, for example, bank. So I will select like 3 or 4 of these. This one enabled, another account, so I will select this and this and for example this. So as you see here, I assigned 4 accounts, so we can take it outside, so we can, because later we will check the bank account and we will upload the budget amount, right? So this 1, 2, 3 and this one. This is our cash account, cash control accounts. Okay, for this it's already before enabled for the procure to pay, and this area to make exceptions, blah blah blah. This is the first one that you can save and close. You just go to cash control, you enabled the payment. If you need to enable receivables, so you have, or your ledger must support multi-fund subledger, and enable payment, assign the account in cash control. That's it, save and close. Yes, save and close. The second one is manage control budget. In manage control budget, you will find that this is your in-waste, or this is created by the system. The status is not defaulting for use. You can open it and just complete description, name. As you see here, that this from period to period, as I told you before, that the system by default create only one period. What is the currency, the rate, what is the control level? Control level, you have 2 options. Either you make absolute and put other account as supplementary as advisory, or vice versa. So I will put advisory, and in supplementary rule I will put supplementary rule as a absolute for our 4 cash account control. Tolerance, what is the manager, are you going to allow override? If you enable the allow override, the system will ask you to enter the maximum amount, and also you can notify budget manager when no override are available, and also when override are taken. If not, once you disable, this will not, or will be disappeared. So what is the cash control budget account control? You can assign, for example, only account, only a company and account. This is up to you. If you have a tree that your budget controlled will be at summary account level as a parent account, so you can upload it tree here. If you define the tree, so you can assign the tree here. Else, because I told you that advisory will be applicable to all cash account instead of the account which I will put it here. So I go to supplemental rules. I can put name supplemental rule. So the same I can come here, and here let me make a refresh or cancel. Okay, setup and maintenance, budget, manage control budget, again cash, this advisory, so I will put segment and save. Try to save and close, come back to the same, go to supplemental, yes, so I will put supplement. Take care, don't assign business unit here. For example, in case of you pass any journal in GL and you assigned here business unit, the budget will not reflected in GL, because as you know there is no business unit in GL. So this is up to you. For procure to pay budgetary expense, don't assign business unit. Here you can assign because the payment only from subledger. So either you assign or not, it's up to you. What is the control level? We said that we will make it absolute. If you have total percentage, salary tolerance amount or percentage, you can put it here. Here I will select specific values. Specific values, which values I will put this. So I can put either added value by range, or I can add one by one. So I will put a range. So this is the first one and this is the third one. Try to go. System will put it 1 2 3. Then I will add the other one, which is this one. This is one, and okay. So here also you can put specific values with the companies for if you have a lot of companies, so you can assign only the this one which is related to your business unit, to your ledger, blah blah blah. If you have additional segment filter and also transaction filters, if you need to specific, for example, journal entry, payable payment, what is it? So after that I will click OK. So advisory will be applicable to all account, except the account which I path it here, which the control level here will be absolute. It's like a normal setup without anything. It's like procure to pay budgetary control. Save. After that you can do what? Prepare for use. Yes. So every time the theme for procure to pay budgeting, every time you need to make any adjustment, come to here and close, then redefine, make your adjustment again, prepare for use. It will take some time. Now it's in use. In use is that after that you have to do what? You have to give your access to this one. So I will go to setup and maintenance, data access set for users, manage data access set, data access for users. You will go to add and put your user name and select budget, either budget manager, budget analyst, and select control budget. For control budget you will find this one, cash, which we defined before. Again I will assign the same for our or for my other rule, which is budget analyst. Again control budget, again in first cash. Save and close. Done. Run LDAP from here or from schedule process because the next step is what? So now we defined or configured the setup. Now we assigned or give our username access to this new cash budget control. The third point is to upload budget amount to these accounts, right? Then we can start to make a payment which is related to this bank account. So let's check the LDAP is finishing, right? So in case of you need to log out and log in again, so go to, for example, budgetary control, and for example budgetary control, case of you need to enter budget in a spreadsheet, select is it initial or budget revision, what is the control budget, you will find it's assigned or showing here. Without assign the tax set and the LDAP, you will not find it here. Periods, we said it's only one period. This is the name of budget entry name. Budget scenario, enable, or there is no other options. And enter budget amount as what? As a new or replacement or addition, like adjustment. It's a new, right? It's initiate or initial, so it's new. Create a spreadsheet. It will download Excel sheet. First of thing, just unblock the security. Right click, properties, unblock, apply, okay, try to open. System will ask you to enter the username password. And you can add, it's like any normal Excel. I have how many account for, right? So I can enter the first one for, I told the system two segments, right? Company and account, right? So I will put 1, 10, 20. This one, okay. System will ask you what is the budget amount. I will say, for example, 25,000. So I can take copy paste and I can come into 2, then 3, then this one is 2070. Come, okay. So again, also I can take the same. That's it. Submit. Okay, check the status here. Row inserted successfully. There is one process submitted. Then go to monitor process to check the status. After that, you can go to budget balance. Refresh. It's still running. I didn't do anything. It's like procure to pay. There is no changes, it's just to put the budget account, cash account, and upload amount, and give your username access, and the same procure to pay budget. This expense succeeded, so I can come back to budgetary control to check the budget balance, right? Budget control, review budget control balance. And this is our one, yes, period or year. It will give you only one period, so I will put period date, only this period, company all, account all, or you can put a specific one. Also, you can save the search. Save search means every time you don't need to refill these fields. You just save it. The system will ask you to give name, Muhammad Salah folder. Every time you can come here to make it. For example, I will save Muhammad Salah, for example. Set a default no. Okay, you will find here Muhammad Salah. So every time don't refill, just come here, select your folder and make a search. So I will search. Now we have 4. We uploaded 25, 25, 25, right? This is the fund available and the fund available percentage and amount, right? Right. Now we need to go to make invoice and the payment. But before the payment, we need to assign, for example, one of these account to what? To the bank, because this is cash account. So in case of I take, for example, this one and go to manage bank account to check our bank and manage bank account. I already have one, this one I think, search EGB. So here this one, in case of I need 1027 1027 11101, the same, right? So I will, so I know that this bank account is assigned to this our cash control account. So I will save and close. So during the payment I will select this bank account. Okay, so I can go to make invoice, like any invoice, create invoice for our business units which we enabled for cash. Supplier, select your supplier. What is the number? No problem, cash control 1. I will path, for example, 15,000. Next time we can add more to check if it failed or not. The budget, because it was in 2014, so I will select here as December and check the accounting date is also December. So go to lines again, also put your distribution account, any account instead of our cash account. So enter this, so I can path, for example, this account which is not related to our cash account and not related to our procure to pay budget. Zeros, future zeros. And okay, let me take it copy, because no, every time no need to refill it again. So I will put it here. That's it. Try to save. Here, as I told you, there is budget date, accounting date and invoice date. This is the invoice, but the payment will only have one date as a payment date. That's it. Save. Try to validate and validate. After validate, check the approval. After approval, you will here it's need revalidations. Let me check. It's filled. This account budget period not open. Okay, no problem. Just go to duplicate to check the budget from GL budget. Sorry for their budgetary control also, because I think this procure to pay is created in 2024. So budgetary control, again go to manage period status. In West there are two This is our one. Status is open. It's open. Check this one. Available for budgeting means must be open. So I will not open all, I will only open this. So take care. This is what? This is procure to pay budget, because we are still on invoice. Invoice means procure to pay. Once you navigate to the payment, you will change it, or the budget will be changed from procure to pay budget to cash control budget. Here, available for budgeting, it must be open. So I open our period, which is December. Here, try to validate or save and close and come back to check. Let me save and close. Okay, done. Come back here, save, try to validate. Validated. Okay, check the approval. I will make a force because it's applicable, no problem. Just try to save and again force approval, or maybe it's not need to approval. Okay, let me check the status here. Is it need or not? Unpaid, reserve it. Okay, let me make a post to ledger or create account. Here accounting has been completed. Normal invoice with everything. Now I will do what? I will save and close. Either on the same, I can click pay in full, or I can go to our payment from payables to make a payment. If you remember our bank account, that in B Egypt, to make it create a payment, normal payment for your business unit, the same supplier, and here the date. This is the date, what? This the payment date at the same time budget date. So I will put as a December. I hope it allow me to put in previous date. Select the disbursement bank account. This not like our bank, no problem. I can come back to our setup and maintenance for bank account. I will search for the same name. Bank, I think here. Name. This one, right? So I will update and assign the cash account 1020. For example, we said this one. Okay, so I will come back here to assign our cash account, which we paused for. I think it's the same or what? Okay, save and close. You change it. Okay, so I will come back here so I can cancel to the changes will reflect. Create a payment, business unit, supplier, and what is the bank? Only our bank. Payment method BBP, and the system will ask you to select the invoice. The payment date, oh yes, this is must be in December, because we said that only December is open. So open this one, right? 15,000. So I will apply OK. Try to save and close. Here 236 is created. Come back again to manage payment and payment number, this one, search. You will find that reserved with warning. Just check this status. Requested is, let me open. If you check here, this is not our bank account, because here there is no 201, so no problem. I will void it, and again I will, okay, open period is this one, okay, and create account. So again I will come back to the bank account to check it. Okay, so come back, bank account, this is 1102010271101. This is the cash account. So save and close. Okay, done. So I will come back to the payment, just change it and come back to it. Payment, let me create it from scratch. Again, everything is the same. And period in December 2024. Again, bank, payment method, BBR, and select our invoice. Save and close. 237, either yes or no. Okay, so I will click manage payment, put the number, search, served also with warning. Distribution account, because invoice. Again, it's assigned to the old account. Just click here. Okay, no problem. It's working for the other accounts which is not our under this one, right? Because we said advisory for all accounts out of these accounts. This account is one of them that is absolute, so it's created as advisory. So I will, no problem, I can again either void it or no problem, I will create a new invoice from scratch. And because we said that this bank account is replaced from the combination of the invoice distribution with the bank account which is assigned to the bank account or cash account, so I will create it from scratch. There, on this one, okay, and number, cash control 2, again 20, so here in December, and the same, go to here, accounting, everything will be in December. Go to lines, assign your distribution account, save, try to validate. I just need to check the manage installment in WCash, no problem. this is account details of the supplier. So validated, so I can post to ledger. Once it's posted, okay, I can from here also select the other one, pay in full, and select bank PBR and payment document. Try to submit. Maturity, yes, because it will be in today, so no problem. Save and close. Go to payment to put the payment date in December. Create payment, invoice, again the same supplier, site date in 2024, bank account, disbursement and PBB, and try to select the invoice, which is 20. Okay, save and close. 238. Again, go to manage payment, reserve it also with warning. I come back again to the bank. So I found the issues that just go to business unit. You will find, just I need to take it copy, go to business unit. Again, you will find this one. This is the wrong one, so I updated by our one. So again, okay, save and close. Okay, come back to invoices to create a new invoice. There is no straightforward in Oracle. You have to face issues. Again, to select and the number cash control 3. Again, I will put 20,000 December, and go to lines 20, distribution combination in this one, save, check, validated, and post to ledger. Okay, now I will save and close. Go to payment to create a new payment. Select business unit, supplier, and disbursement, then payment. Okay, and here the date is December. Select the invoice, which is 20. Okay, save and close. 239 created. Okay, manage payment, remove space, search. You will find is reserved. Reserved means it's succeeded path. Now come here, reserved. You will find that budget there is always 20. You requested 20 for this payment. The available now after you requested this is 5, because we uploaded what, 25, right? So this available or the current, and this is the requests. In case of you need to come back to the budget balances, this is, you will find that for this account the same for cash, and put it here all and search, or select my folder, search. You will find what still not affected here, but this because we upload a lot of things. So just come back after some time. Once you posted this to GL, you will find the available is 5,000. In case of you need to post to ledger, after some time go to the reverse to check here the available, and let me search here. Now it's affected 25 for this account. Expenditure as a payment is 20, and what is the fund available, either amount, and the fund available is percentage amount. So in case of I need to make what, I need to make another payment, or let me create another invoice with more than 5,000, because the fund available now is 5,000. So I will put, for example, 10,000 to check. 10,000 means it must be give us field for or the insufficient fund. Come here, 10. Again, take this distribution, save, validate, and post to ledger, and create a payment. As I told you that you have to make painful and manual. From here, just click on quick and BBR. Quick and BBR. Refund or manual is not supported for cash control. Just business unit, our supplier, and disbursement date. This one, payment method, BBR or PPB, and select our 10,000. Okay, try to save and close. Just give you what budgetary or fund status, type check. It will ask you that you requested 10,000, but the available is 5,000. Here is insufficient fund for the payment. This is what we said before, that it will not allow you to clearing the payment to the supplier. So this is the cash control. You have to check that you assigned correctly the cash account to the bank account, either business unit level or general level, and during make the payment which is related to the bank assigned to our cash control account, the system will try to validate either advisory with warning, either failed, either pathed or reserved. Let's continue to our slides. That's not this one. Handling fund reservation failure. We said before the payment aren't created if the fund reservation fails. Fund reservation can fail due to the following reason. First of thing, that there are some failures related to budget, that cash account has insufficient fund, budget period is in closed status, like what we said before. Other reasons, that the cash or the account derived for fund is inactive, or if the derived fund account combination is absent, the application attempted to create one, often the dynamically created account combination is invalid. User doesn't have access to the account combination. Payment validation failure for PBR, that during processing of the PBR, absence of reserved funds against the payment considered as a payment validation failure. Based on configuration, you can select BPR submission. The following outcomes are possible: that BPR continues to process the remaining successfully received payments. The BPR stops for user review with status pending action to address payment validation errors. Create payments when funds are insufficient. Is it possible? Yes. What does it mean? That in case of our case before, that there is no or insufficient fund for our cash account. So is it possible to ask or to pass it or to create it? Yes. How is that, or how to do that? That budgetary control validation doesn't allow creating payment when available funds are insufficient. You can enable there is one checkbox, is allow payment with insufficient funds checkbox to override this validation while creating a payment. But this feature overrides only the payment failures caused due insufficient funds. How to enable this? To use this feature, you need to allow payment with insufficient funds privilege. This privilege is assigned or isn't available on pay in full and payment process request. It's only for quick payment, because we said before there is quick payment, manual payment, refund payment, BPR, and pay in full. In case of this feature is not available for pay in full and BPR, and also by default this feature as a cash budget control is not allowed for refund and manual, so this feature is allowed only for what? Quick payment type. If you want to any users presence with this privilege, you can create custom rule, like take a copy of your account payment and make this, or remove the privilege is allow payment with insufficient fund. This is allow, or this privilege is with, I think, account payable supervisor and account payable manager. So I just need to show you quickly what I did before. I just go to security console. For this security console, I create what? I create a new rule. I take a copy from, for example, account payable manager, and I think the name this one. Okay, give me, I think this one. Yes, I created this as an insufficient, and I just go to edit rule. There is one function privilege. I assigned allow here, allow payment with insufficient fund. Here you have to add what? Add a privilege and put the same name of allow payment with insufficient fund here. Okay, so next, go to users, assign to your users, and save and close, and run LDAP. After LDAP, you have to assign also this, for example, to data access set through add or give data access set for the users, because this is related to payables. So you have to assign, for example, data access set type is a business unit to this user, to this responsibility. After that, during make a payment, for example, if I need to save and create another, where is these options? Once you complete this custom rule or the default rule, like account payable manager and account payable supervisor rules, you can come back. Okay, I will cancel. Yes, if I create a payment, again select everything like the same before, and come here, disbursement bank account and GBP period, the same. Before go to here, just go to advanced. You will find allow payment with insufficient fund. It will do what? It will allow you to create payment when funds are insufficient. Just click it here, select the invoice and complete the cycle. Void payment, again, voiding of payment also triggers fund reservation but with a negative payment amount. You can void individual payment or a payment file. Payment remains is negotiable or innegotiable status. By default, budget date for the void action for invoice payment is as same date as the void accounting date. You can also update this date. If you void payment file, you can specify the budget date for the void actions. You can void the payment file only after voiding all payment part of this file. For the reissue payment involves in voiding of the original payment and issuing a new payment in place of the old one. When you reissue a payment that was earlier subjected to cash budget, the original payment is unreserved and marked as voided. The newly issued payment is subjected to fund reservations. The reissue process is terminated if the following process have any issue: voiding of original payment, issuing for new payment. In both cases, the payment remains in negotiable status. You can review the reason for failure from displayed error message. I hope now to get what is the cash control, how to set up, what is the business case. We face a lot of issues, but it's good for you to check where is the problem and to try and try and try. Good luck and thanks for watching.